Hello and welcome back or welcome to my channel if you're new. My name is Parker and today I will be reading a story that I wrote. Sadly, I was not able to get my Pride story that was written specifically for Pride done on time in order to get this uploaded. So instead, I will be reading you an intrological story called The Line of Good and Bad. Again, I'm going to apologize in advance for Roman's voice, though it's not used much. He sounds really British because for some reason I imagine his voice British. I apologize. I've been struggling so hard to meet all my deadlines today as I had 3 deadlines due today, and this one just ended up kind of getting cut in the slack because I had to do the others with promises. Without further ado, this is an intrological story called The Line of Good and Bad. God, Remus, Logan would never like you of all people, Roman yelled, just loud enough, just a little too loud, and Remus flinched back. They were usually very close, but Remus was asking Roman to accept that he liked not only one of their roommates, but his best friend. I know that, Remus screeched through his tears. There was a sharp knock on the door that they both recognized easily to belong to Logan. Why don't we ask him? Roman hissed, opening the door before Remus could react. Logan studied the pair, Remus looking stressed, and his usual manic grin was replaced by a tear-stained, painful frown, whereas Roman looked mad. What is going on? Logan asked stalely. Roman looked at Remus for a moment before answering. Logan, I think it's best you ask Remus, Roman stated as he was walking out to cool off. Logan stepped into Remus's room, softly closing the door behind him. Remus launched into Logan's arms, and Logan caught him easily. What's wrong, Ray? He mumbled. Remus felt his entire body go tense and mentally cursed himself out. He hated when he stopped being able to answer. He was a beacon of utteral chaos, usually. He usually didn't care and would just say whatever he thought, but emotions were hard, especially when they were his. Luckily for him, Logan's attention was caught by the only thing that was properly taken care of in the room. I apologize, but what is that? Logan asked, still keeping his voice soft. Remus shifted around in Logan's arms and lifted the picture frame. It's evidence that we haven't always fought like this. Remus ran his thumb against the picture of him, Roman, and Virgil at the age of 7. Even then, Virgil seemed emo, Remus dramatic, and Roman a goody two-shoes. I apologize, that's my boyfriend texting me. As far as he knew, both Roman and Virgil had their copies either hung or sat high on a shelf. Ah, you still seem upset. Should we go get Newton and Einstein? Logan offered. Remus made a noise of excitement. He loved Logan's fluffy ferrets. If we do, however, you have to tell me why you and your brother were arguing, Logan negotiated. Even though Remus saw the ferrets quite often, he was willing to make that bargain. He'd have told Logan eventually anyway. Sure, he stated, sounding just a little too excited. Logan nodded, letting Remus go and leading the way to his room. Unlike Remus's room, Logan's room was really clean and organized down to even the large cage in the corner, housing the set of playful ferrets. Be my guest, Logan told Remus, signaling towards the cage. Remus bounded over to the cage, opening the cage easily. Hiya, Einstein, he exclaimed as the white ferret began to climb his arm. Logan, beside him, pulled out the more reserved brown ferret. Remus promptly sat on the floor, and Logan, despite his hesitation, following after. They sat there in content silence for a few moments before Logan began to speak. You know you can trust me, right, Remus? He asked, pausing for a few seconds, but starting again before Remus could respond. I am unlikely to tell anyone unless you admit something like when Virgil admitted his anxiety, he informed. Remus slowly nodded, feeling the sliver of a good mood slip away. Logan reached the hand that wasn't petting Newton out to gently place it on his hand. Remus made a small noise in his throat. He really wished that Logan didn't make him feel this way. Well, it's kinda about you, Remus stated slowly. Logan nodded, running his thumb against the back of his hand. Remus shifted a bit forward, closer. Listen, Logan, I'm not exactly good at words, so I could just show you why we were arguing, Remus suggested. So long as it isn't messy, he responded. Remus smiled, taking Newton from Logan and putting both ferrets in the cage. Logan looked both intrigued and a bit nervous. Remus looked at him for what must have been a few minutes before moving at all. He pulled Logan to his lap, kissing him softly on the lips. Logan was quick to shift away, but much to Remus's surprise, the contact was regained with much more strength behind it. Who cares about the line of good and bad when you have people like this? And that is my story, the line of good and bad. I do apologize for my phone going off. My boyfriend was texting me throughout that. I thank you guys so much for being so patient, and I apologize that I couldn't get the story that I promised done. I've been so busy trying to fulfill other things that I needed to get done, and I had my summer camp, and I had a very bad allergic reaction the other day that made it so hard to breathe that I thought I might end up in the hospital. So with all of that on my plate, I've been very busy right now, and as of late, I will be going to Utah, my hometown, for a while. So I wouldn't expect any non-pre-recorded videos to come out, which means that I have to record one more for the last week that I will be gone. I am very thankful for your patience and your love and support and everything. Sorry, that was my sister. They like to text me. But, I will eventually get that story out because I think you can be prideful at any time in the year. You don't only have to be prideful during June. And that's actually a lot of what I was doing because I had a lot of pride things that I promised on my different platforms. Like, I promised I would do a bunch of makeup looks for my Pinterest and my Instagram, which I'm not comfortable sharing on here. And I promised I would get a specific chapter to a story that I'm writing out for today. So I am very busy. They're very pride related though. I'm very thankful for you guys. I hope you guys have had a happy and safe Pride, and that everything in your life is going well recently. Thank you guys so much for coming, and I will see you guys next week.